Well, it's official. It is the most wonderful time of the year. It's December the 1st, and this is your first update video. We wanted to come to you real quick, and I'm going to do my very best to go through a lot of information in the shortest amount of time possible, because I know this is a crazy time of year, and you don't have a lot of extra time. And so, man, it is an awesome season here at First Baptist Cleveland, and I'm looking forward to a great month of ministry. I'll tell you later on in this video, we're going to give you the whole calendar of events. We've got a lot of stuff happening, everything from a brand new sermon series kicking off the first Sunday in December to a unique Christmas schedule that you need to be aware of. We also have a Christmas musical, all kinds of exciting things coming up. But before we get into all that, I wanted to give you a quick Generations update. I know for a while now we've been talking about the Generations campaign, and in fact 4 weeks ago I came to you and we kind of had a revisioning Sunday together, if you may remember that. And on that day I encouraged the church to start fulfilling their commitments that we made about 3 years ago, but also considering going on this journey for another 3 years beginning in January of 2023. On that day, I told you that there are many people that are new members of our church, or some people who weren't a part of the journey with us in the past couple of years, and I encouraged them to sign up and commit to going on this journey with them. I also told you that I was going to bring this information to you and let you know what dollars have been committed in the last several weeks. And so let's begin with that number. I can tell you that as of this morning, in the last 4 weeks, we have had over $1.5 million committed as a part of the Generations campaign. That's a great number and a great something to celebrate as we look forward to the future. Next to me, this is Will Owens. He leads our business ministry of the church. He's the one who numbers make sense to him. All right, the guy always has a calculator with him, and he's always making sure that we are in a great position financially. He does a phenomenal job, and I've asked him to be a part of this video so that he can give you another update regarding not committed dollars, but actually given dollars. And so, talk to us about what's been given since that day, which was about 4 weeks ago, since Vision Sunday, and talk about how the church has responded in faithfulness.
Yeah, absolutely. Just exactly what you said. It's been absolutely amazing over the last 4 weeks. We've seen over $460,000 collected toward Generations in 4 weeks. That's just outstanding, the way our people have responded in faithfulness. And like you said, since Vision Sunday about 4 weeks ago, we've had a lot of people respond and say, hey, we're all in. We want to lock arms with the church, and we're ready to go on this ride for the next 2 or 3 years. It's been really encouraging.
That's pretty impressive. Church, I just want to say thank you. Prior to that Sunday, we were seeing, $20,000 to $30,000 a week given towards Generations, and we're grateful for that. It's going to take a lot of those weeks to fulfill what we believe God is calling us to do in the future. But man, in 4 weeks, the church giving $460,000 towards Generations, and that's really through Thanksgiving. We haven't even gotten into December, which is usually our greatest giving month of the entire year. In fact, why don't you talk to us about December and how important it is for our church when it comes to end-of-year giving and ending the year strong, because without December, our church really isn't able to do a lot of what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's just one of those trends that you see probably in a lot of churches and for a lot of nonprofits, so to speak. But the month of December, historically, we have collected anywhere from 14 to 18% of our total budget for the year. December is usually a large month where people are either trying to meet tax deductions and things like that going into the end of the year, or they've had a great year financially and they see the surplus and want to give to the church out of excess. And we've just seen the church respond in a big way historically every December. And so we're prayerful and hopeful that we see that again this December.
Yeah. Our team has done a great job. I want to brag on our staff because they are underspent for the year in a great way. They've done a great job of stewarding the resources that God's given us. And really, it's been another incredible season of ministry here at the church. This year has been a great year of ministry. We've seen over 400 people saved and baptized. We've seen several hundred people join our church. We've seen our church continue to grow grow and expand. And now we're looking forward saying, okay, God's calling us to do this and to do that. And we're just believing that He's going to provide the resources in order to accomplish that vision. And so, church, I want to thank you for believing in this mission, for going with us on this journey, the Great Commission journey that all of us are on, and also putting your money where your mouth is and stewarding what God has blessed you with in a way that you know is pleasing to Him. You know, it's pretty fun. Every Monday I get an email from this guy, and he just brags on the church and brags on how you are giving faithfully. And I want to thank you in advance for ending this year strong. Let's give until it hurts this December, because God's given us huge vision. And with that huge vision comes a lot of responsibility in fulfilling the finances to pay for that vision. So when you're talking about phase 2 and what's happening, man, let's build this thing together. Like you've heard me say so many times, it's going to take all of us. It's going to take the pennies and the dollars and the big gifts to pay for what God is leading us to do. But man, the payoff is going to be huge. You're talking about a project that's going to honor the Lord and really position our church for ministry right here in Cleveland and around the world for the next several decades. And so, church, thanks. Anything else you want to say regarding giving or finances?
I would just remind the church at the end of the year, if you want to make a gift in the month of December, it does need to be postmarked by 12/31 in order for us to get it into this year. Everybody knows the ways to give. They can text 74784, text give. They can go online, they can mail it in, they can come to the church and drop it off. There's plenty of easy ways to give, but here at year end, in order for us to accept that gift in this tax year, it does need to be postmarked by 12/31.
Another great resource for giving that we don't typically talk about is this guy right here. You can always call him, and man, God's just blessed him with a lot of wisdom regarding how to give, best ways to give, ways that it makes sense to give regarding your taxes. And so there are a lot of people that give to the church that aren't giving cash, and so there's a lot of new options that you can give. You can give property or stock, and Will's even got you positioned to give cryptocurrency if you want to give your Bitcoin. And so listen, we have so many great resources here at the church. This guy is one of them. His office does a remarkable job, so I encourage you to connect with him if you have any questions regarding end of year giving or tax deductions or any of that stuff. And so, well, that's the financial update. Now let's talk about the rest of the things that are happening in the month of December. All right, so it's December, buddy.
Yeah, man.
It's December, which means we all need some more things to do. Yeah. Is your calendar as crazy as my calendar is in this month?
It gets a little full. Yeah.
Okay. All right, just making sure we're all on the same page. Hey, we're not trying to add a bunch of things to your calendar, but man, there are so many awesome opportunities for your family this year, and it's a unique year. I mean, it's kind of cool because we've got a couple of great things for families. We've got things for all ages, for all generations, and I just love Christmas. It's a great time of year.
Yeah, my family loves it because it really, all those activities really help us kind of soak in the Christmas spirit a little bit more, and we really try to use those times and all the busyness as we go to be able to kind of just remind our kids about really the real true reason for the season, and kind of unpack the story of Christmas and what that means for us personally, not just practically with nostalgia, but also really spiritually, the significance of Jesus coming to earth, entering into our mess. And so, our life gets a little messy in December, but it's a great teaching point for our family. So that's why we really love all the things that are going on.
We're going to do it, man. We're going for it this year. And you're going to see that when you come to our campus. I can tell you right now, they're setting up for Christmas, and it feels like Christmas. It's starting to smell like Christmas. And this Sunday, you're going to have all the Christmas feels, because we're jumping into a brand new teaching series that I'm calling Advent. We're going to go through the next 4 weeks, kind of, focusing on some of the major themes of Advent. This week, we're talking about the hope of Christmas and the fact that we can wait with hope because God fulfills His promises. He's a promise-keeping God, and we're going to talk about what that looks like beginning this Sunday. It's going to be a fun series as we kind of lean into Christmas and as we really do focus on the main reason for the season. And so this isn't just another happy holiday, man. It's a Merry Christmas around First Cleveland. And we want to invite your family to be a part of a lot of great things that are coming up. Obviously, Sundays are a big deal. We want you to make a commitment to being a part of Sundays between now and the end of the year. But we do have some unique Sundays that we want to let you know about in advance so that you can make plans. And so before we talk about the Sunday adjustment, the Christmas schedule, why don't you talk about Spirit City Christmas and really what that's going to look like?
Oh man, our whole worship team has been working for months on Spirit City Christmas, and so our Christmas presentation is going to be incredible this year. And so it involves choir, orchestra, band, our vocal team, our kids choir, our student choir, choreography. We've got a ton of things going on, a live nativity that'll be part of the whole presentation. And so there's really something for everybody. We want to hang our hat on no matter who you are, what walk of life that you're in. You can feel comfortable being here. You can feel comfortable bringing your neighbors and your coworkers, all the people in our community that really need the hope of Christmas. We want them to feel comfortable here. And so that's going to be the second weekend in December. So Friday, December 9th, Saturday, December 10th, and then Sunday on the 11th, we've actually got 2 showings. So Friday is at 7 p.m., and so then Saturday at 4 is actually a special one. This year, we're really making a family emphasis. So we're going to have some special fun festivities for the kids, a special petting zoo outside, and then other activities for them, hot chocolate and coffee for the adults there in the Commons with some live music going on. And so it's going to be a really great, fun, festive environment every time that we have a Spirit City Christmas presentation. But especially on Saturday, we're making some fun things for the whole family. And then also, that'll be a Saturday at 4, and then Sunday at 4 and 7, we'll have 2 showings on Sunday, and we want everybody to be able to come and to be a part of that that can.
So your family can go to any of the 4. They're
Absolutely.
Identical, but Saturday's just going to be a little bit more fun for the kids.
Right. And because it's light outside at the 4 o'clock, it gives us a little bit of extra stuff to go on there.
Yeah.
But we will have childcare available at each of the presentations.
Okay. One of the questions we always receive is, do I need a ticket for this? Do I need to RSVP in advance? What's the answer?
Right. There is no ticket required for this. We're not giving out tickets. We do have invite cards for church family. You can pick those up here on campus and share the good word. But no ticket is required, and it's general admission. So doors will open 30 minutes prior to each presentation, and so you come, grab your seat, and get a cup of coffee, and we're gonna have a great night.
If you're watching this online, man, I would encourage you to be a part of our invite team, all right? Which means just go to that event on Facebook or whatever social media platform that you're watching this on and hit the share button. We want to get the word out without spending a lot of dollars on marketing. And so if you can help us getting the word out to our community, that would be awesome. I will tell you this, you don't have to have an RSVP or a ticket in advance, but I would highly encourage you to be here early. Don't show up at the time that it says it starts, because this is one of those events every single year where we see capacity crowds and parking is an issue. And so get here early, take a little time, don't stress yourself out, and hopefully we'll all have a blast celebrating the real meaning of Christmas. It'll be a great time of reflection and worship, and a time to kind of focus your thoughts on what Christmas is all about. And man, I'm grateful for this guy and his leadership. Like he said, this is involving a lot of people in our church and in our community. It's a big deal for First Baptist Cleveland to celebrate Christmas, and we're just honored that you've made this a part of your Christmas tradition, and we look forward to celebrating with you.
Right, and the hope of this really is we don't do this just for ourselves. We put on this whole Spirit City Christmas and put, hundreds of hours into work so that we can get the gospel out to our community.
That's right.
And so we want our church family to come, but we really want you to bring somebody who doesn't know Jesus so they can hear about the love of Jesus and the salvation that we find in him.
And a lot of people will come to something like this that won't come on Sunday morning.
100%.
Right? And so use this as an opportunity to take somebody out to dinner, or say, hey, let's go to this show together. I'm going to get our tickets. They're free. Don't tell them that. But but make it a priority to use this as a tool for evangelism, because you never know. You never know what seed God is going to use to plant somebody's heart, that seed that could ultimately lead to their salvation. And so let's be on mission this Christmas season and just see how God would use the power of the invite as we think about our friends and neighbors here in this community.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's talk about Christmas. This year is very weird because Christmas falls on Sunday. If you've heard from other places, there's a big controversy going on, right? All these churches are shutting down. They're not doing anything for Christmas. We are not one of those churches. And so we're planning right now to have 2 Christmas Eve services and also a Christmas morning service as well. We're not going to have our normal 3 services because we do realize it's Christmas morning. There's a lot of people doing other things. However, we wanted to worship Jesus on Christmas, and so we're going to have a great Christmas morning service, and I'm really hoping that we pack the place out and just have a great time celebrating the birth of our Savior. I will tell you this, the 2 Christmas Eve services, and you can see the times below, those are going to be identical to the Christmas morning service. And so we've got 2 on Christmas Eve, we've got 1 on Christmas morning. All 3 of those services are identical services. They're just on 2 separate days. Long story short, just pick one, all right? Or you can pick one, go to it, and if you like it, you can invite somebody to come to the next one. But it is one of those things. I want to give you a heads up. We're not expecting you to come on Christmas Eve and then come back the next morning. This is a pick a service and save room for somebody else who wants to go to the next service.
Yeah.
So
it does give you a chance, if you really want to be here on Christmas Eve and Christmas, you can serve one of those weeks as well.
That's right.
Be a greeter, come love on somebody. We're going to have a lot of people from our community here on Saturday, on Christmas Eve. And so be a great chance just to come and be a part of our greeter team and help us out, really just showing the love of Jesus to those that are around us.
If you're wondering, do I need to go to that weekend if I went to Spirit City Christmas? Let me just tell you this. They're completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different experiences. One of them is the Christmas production that they've worked so hard on. The other one is our weekend services. And man, we are going to have some great things that you'll want to be a part of. Things that you've traditionally grown up with. If you've grown up going to a Christmas Eve service where you have the candlelight, those 3 services, we're going to have the candlelight. We're going to have a special time for our boys and our girls. It's going to be a great time where we take the Lord's Supper together and we reflect on what Christ has done for us. And so there's a lot of moving parts. I will tell you that those services are going to be a little bit abbreviated. We're hoping that all 3 of those services will be 1 hour. And so it'll be a come, make sure you show up on time. You don't want to miss the first part of that service, but we're hoping it's going to be about a 1 hour service. So we're going to get you back out. We know that it's busy time of year. And we thank you in advance for making Christmas Eve and Christmas Day a part of your Christmas celebration. Let me tell you one more thing about that weekend, and you're going to be hearing more about this in the days to come. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we're going to be taking up our special World Mission Offering. And what that means is, above and beyond our tithes, we're asking every single member of our church to give. Man, it's a season of giving, and we give to our kids and we give to our friends and our family members. We give a lot during Christmas, but man, let's not forget to give to what Jesus tells us to give to. And that is the mission of God. We have missionaries serving around the world. We have mission partners around the world that are relying on us. They're counting on us to help support the ministry that God's called them to. And we've got commitments out there that we want to fulfill. And so on this particular Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we're going to be taking up a special World Mission Offering, and our goal as a church is $200,000. Now, we've already given a lot to missions throughout the year. This isn't a one-and-done thing for us, but those $200,000 are going to allow us to surpass our goal for the year so that we don't have to tell any of our mission partners no. We want to be able to fulfill everything that we said at the beginning of the year, what we want to do, and this is going to allow us to do just that. And so I want to encourage you to make preparation for that moment, because we're going to pass a plate. We're going to have a moment in that service where we give to support missions and missionaries around the world. And man, I just hope that we can reach our goal and we can bless a lot of people in the name of Jesus. Those dollars don't stay here. The majority of those dollars are leaving here and going to our partners right here in Cleveland and in Tennessee, America, and even around the world. And so, man, it's just an exciting time and a great opportunity just to give. As the Lord's given us and blessed us, we want to be a blessing financially. We're going to do that Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's not the only weird weekend that's coming up. We also have another weird weekend coming up the next week. Talk to us about that one.
Yeah, so New Year's Day always falls on the same day of the week as Christmas does, and so that means that New Year's Day, January 1st, is on a Sunday. And so we know that's a day that, you know, we've all brought in the new year together, and so
we stayed up late on Saturday.
Watch that ball drop.
That's right.
And so we're going to have 2 weekend services at 9:45 and 11:15 that day, and so there's no groups that day, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
No groups. We do have preschool childcare for the kids. but no groups on Christmas weekend or the following weekend, which is New Year, simply because we have a hard time getting teachers, to be honest with you.
There's
Because
a lot of people traveling.
A lot of people traveling for the holidays, a lot of people with family in town. And so for those 2 weeks, we're worshiping together as a church family. We're just kind of modifying the schedule a little bit because of all that's going on. However, that next Sunday, do not miss. I promise you don't want to miss. We're going to get this year kicked off the right way. We're going to go for it as a church this year. And man, I can't wait to kick this next year off with a really a 2-week series that I'm calling Foundations. And I just want to encourage you to go ahead and prioritize that you're going to be there for those next 2 Sundays as we get January kicked off.
And I really love actually how it's all falling out, because those days, of course, Christmas weekend, but also New Year's weekend, it's not a snow day. We're really trying to be intentional on our end from the musical standpoint. I mean, this is going to be a time really for us to gather together on New Year's Day to start the year off right.
Yeah.
And so we're making sure that that's going to be a very unique service that you don't want to miss. And then January 8th, it's going to be Let's Go. And so, we'll have the full teams all back and running. And so it's going to be really a whole series of just great weekends coming up.
There is a lot going on this December. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Oh man, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and we really can't wait to see you at all the things that we've got going on this month.
It's going to be a great month, and I want to encourage you to lean in. There are so many options for ministry, so many great things for your family. And I really hate that you have to miss any of them. I mean, one of the things I didn't even share with you is coming up this Sunday, December the 4th. Man, this is such an important gathering. It's the multi-site gathering. We've been talking about multi-site and multiple campuses and expansion, and you may have some questions regarding, man, what does all that mean? Well, this is one of those events where you can come on Sunday night at 6:30 and you can get a free dessert, but you can also hear some great information about this journey that our church is on and that we're about to embark on. And man, I want to encourage you to come. You say, I don't even live in one of those areas, but I'm curious, can I come? Yes, you can. If you're a part of this church family, I want to ask you to come, invite you to come, because it's going to be one of those monumental moments in the life of our church. And it'll be something we look back on many years down the road and we say, man, you remember when God started planting those seeds and moving us in that direction? I believe God's going to do great things in our future regarding multi-site. But I want you to go on the journey with us. So this Sunday, join us at 6:30. It's going to be in the Commons. Like I said, it has a great dessert fellowship together, and then we're going to jump into some details. But yes, you are invited, and I hope to see you this Sunday. Also, if you got little kids, don't forget about December the 15th. You got Miss Patty Cake coming to town, and it's going to be a great preschool Christmas celebration, and you can find out more information about that on our website. But let me just tell you, if you've ever seen Miss Patty Cake, or if your kids have, you're in for a treat, all right? It's a good thing. Now, some of you parents and grandparents are like, Miss Patty Cake, but I promise, it's really a great thing. So if you got little ones, just trust me, it's a great event for the kids. They'll thank you for taking them. And so we could sit here and talk about things all day long. Luckily for us, we're a part of a great church that's on the move. We got a lot of things happening, and all glory goes to God. This is a great month of ministry. Lean in, make the most of it. Don't miss out on stuff, and just be a part of the journey that we all get to go on together. Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you Sunday.